Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I'm here to help you grow your online presence, multiply your streams of income, and create profitable businesses. Okay, so today's video is a really fun one. It's all about Instagram stories. I haven't done a video like this before, which is weird. I feel like I was kind of at the point where I'd covered most things, but apparently not. Apparently there's more to cover. So specifically, I'm going to be talking about Instagram story hacks and tricks that you can be doing on your stories, which is going to allow you to get more views. The reason why I want to talk about this today is because I mentioned in this video when I was talking about my social media strategy for 2022, I mentioned that I was going to be putting a lot more effort into my Instagram stories. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to show up on your stories, you want to show up properly, you want to be sharing good content. I don't believe in just being on your stories every day for the sake of it. So I wanted to make sure that I was showing up on my stories on a regular basis and sharing good content. And I incorporated a lot of these tactics into my new stories strategy, and the results have been great, and I've been getting so many more views and so much interaction. So without further ado, let's just get straight to it. Okay, so the first hack that I want to tell you about is basically a thing that you can do which allows you to instantly give your stories a boost, and it basically guarantees that your stories are going to be seen by more people. Now, you've probably heard this hack before, but potentially not in the way that I'm going to describe it, so I'm just going to say it, right? Just come out with it. So the hack is that you let your stories expire so that you've got no stories live on your profile anymore, and then your first story back uses one of Instagram's interactive stickers. So when I say the interactive stickers, I'm talking about the polls, the question box, that kind of stuff. Anything which requires your audience to interact or provides your audience with the ability to interact with your story. Now, the key thing about this tactic that a lot of people don't mention is that it actually matters which interactive feature you're using, right? So you don't want to use the Q&A box or any interactive sticker that requires your audience to do a lot of stuff in order to take part in it. So the Q&A box requires your audience to type out a message, and that's quite a big ask. Now, I'm not saying this in general, but when you compare it to some of the other interactive stickers, the question box actually requires your audience to do quite a lot, right? Alternatively, there are other stickers like the poll feature, or like, you know, that sliding love heart face feature. Those two technically have the lowest barrier to entry, right? So that just basically means that when you use those two stickers on your story, it's very easy for your viewers to interact with them very quickly. It doesn't require them to type out a message. It doesn't even require that much thought. It's very easy for them to engage, which means you're gonna get more engagement from them. Because you're using stickers which are easy for your audience to kind of interact with, it means that you're going to get more people interacting with your stories. And the more people who interact with your first story back, the higher your story will rank on Instagram's algorithm. The reason why is because Instagram's algorithm is constantly looking for signals to figure out whether or not your story is really high quality and engaging. The more signals you can send it, and by signals I mean people interacting with your poll or using that slide feature, the more of those signals you can send Instagram's algorithm, the more likely it is for the algorithm to recognize how great your story content is and to show it to more people. So that's the first tactic, and it is a good one. It works for me every single time. Okay, so the next hack involves you being a bit tactical with when you upload your story content. So if you know that you're going to post on your feed today, so you know you're going to upload a photo or a reel or something like that that's going to go on your feed, what you want to do is make sure that you've uploaded your story content before you've shared your feed posts. The reason why, and you have probably been victim to this as well, but a common thing for people to do when they're scrolling through their home feed is to also look at someone's story. So if they're scrolling through their home feed and they see a post from you, if you've already got a story live, so you know, like your profile photo will have that ring around it, it's actually quite common for people to click and watch your story as a result of seeing your feed post on their home feed. So that's one reason why it works. Another reason why it works is it gives you the opportunity for you to tell people or encourage people to watch your story content in your caption. So if you've just uploaded a post like a reel or a video or a static post or a carousel, and you've got some story content which is really entertaining, or even better, it's related to the feed post you've just shared, well, why not include a call to action at the bottom of your captions which says something like, hey, if you want to see what else I got up to today, head over to my stories. Or if you want to hear me talk about this in more detail, head over to my stories. If you want to see what this product looks like in action, head over to our stories. You catch my drift, right? So by asking people to actually look at your your stories, but also giving them a bit of a teaser into what's on your stories, you're going to massively increase the number of people who are going to watch and consume your story content. Okay, so shall we talk about some of the new features coming to your stories? So these are like brand new, fresh off the press. Oh my God, I always get this phrase wrong. Hot off the press? I've done this in another video and I can't remember which one's the right. I think the right one is hot off the press. You know what I mean? This is a brand new features which are coming to Instagram stories. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is the like button. Okay, so head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, recently announced that the like button is coming to stories, which means that when you are looking at someone else's story, you will now see a little love heart on the bottom right-hand corner, which will allow you to like their stories. Now, the hack and the reason why this is super significant is because by allowing other people to like your stories, Instagram have created another signal which will allow them to figure out whether or not your story content is good. So if you're receiving a lot of likes on your stories using this new like button, there's a really good chance that your stories are going to be seen by more people, right? Another reason, which is I guess slightly less exciting, actually I guess it kind of depends on who you are, but another reason why this feature is interesting is because when someone else likes your stories, you will not get a direct message letting you know that that person's liked your stories. That won't happen. So you know, at the minute when you're watching someone's stories, you can actually like engage with them and send emojis to them, and it's really easy to do so. But when you do that, they actually get a direct message which tells them that you've just liked their photo, or you've just done a crying, laughing face of their photo, right? Now I'm guessing that a lot of people don't like that, and I'm assuming the reason why people wouldn't like that is because it clogs up your direct messages. So this new like button will allow you to see a list of people who like your stories without clogging up your inbox with a bunch of love hearts and just like loads of people telling you how great you are and how great your story content is. I personally think that'd be a lovely thing to receive in my direct messages, so each to their own. Okay, so the final Instagram story hack of the video is all about another brand new feature, and this feature will allow you to repurpose your Instagram stories into reels. I actually heard about this feature a while ago, however it seems like it is now ready to be rolled out to people and it's actually going live. Now what this basically will look like is you'll be able to go back onto your past stories, and in the bottom right hand corner you're going to see a button which will allow you to turn those stories into reels. Now the main thing to bear in mind here, right, is even though this is like a content creator's dream because it's making repurposing content even easier, right? I say even easier like it's an easy thing, it's not that easy, but it's making it easy, right? Even though that's great, and I'm really happy for all of us out there who's going to be using this feature, it's really important to remember that the type of content you share on reels and the type of content that you share in your stories is usually quite different. So your stories should really be used for you sharing behind the scenes kind of raw footage of your life, because that's a really great way for you to kind of bond with your audience. Now, whilst that footage will do well on reels, you've got to make sure that the quality of the footage is right, and that the reels that you're creating using this story content are either entertaining or educational, that they have a hook within the first few seconds which really captures people's attention, that they're really high quality as well. And even though hopefully a lot of your stories will pass that test and you'll be like, yeah, no, my stories are great, some of your stories, at least I know from my personal experience, some of my stories would not do well on reels because they're not high quality enough and they just don't follow the standard reels format. So just always bear that in mind before you start repurposing every story that you've ever shared. Okay, that is it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. If you did, I recommend checking out this video. I still don't know what side that's supposed to be on, but I recommend checking out this video. It is all about even more new updates coming to Instagram. I talk specifically about things like Instagram subscriptions, which is a major new feature coming to the platform. So if you want to hear about that and just about general new updates overall, then I recommend checking out that video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you in my next video.